Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and well, today I've got a lock which was sent to me as part of a trade by LegalLockPicker, and this is from Ace Hardware in the US. LegalLockPicker is of course based in the US, and this is a lifetime warranty replacement rim cylinder with a Quickset 1 keyway, the KW1 keyway, and it's yeah, I mean, I'm not led to believe that these are the highest quality of locks, being sort of a hardware store own brand, but it'd be interesting just to see how it compares to some of the most common rim cylinders that we have here in the UK, which are the classic Yale and the Era, which I'll be honest is pretty much copying exactly what Yale do. These are 5 pins, they have a paracentric keyway, the YE1 keyway, the L keyway, and they, well, you see the Yale has pins which go through the warding here, and often the bitting goes all the way to the top. So these Yales in particular can be quite a tough pick. The Era's not quite as tough, but still, you know, still better than most locks out there. Yeah, they're 5 pins, but they're not too bad. Okay, so let's have a look at this Ace Hardware one. I don't need to pull out all the everything in there. We'll just take the key and the lock itself, and give it a little shine up there. It's pretty nice looking. Saying that, looks like the stamping isn't amazing on the A there, but I don't think we're in it to look at the stamping on the front of the lock. But the bitting isn't too bad. Got some really nice high cuts on pins 3 and 5 here. That's standard KW1 keyway. Yep, all looks as I'd expect, really. Okay, I guess best thing to do is give it a pick. So here we are in the vise, so shiny. It's going to pop some bottom keyway tension in, and we're probably going to use this Peterson gem in 18,000th. Probably just a little bit of medium tension on this, nothing too much. Pull back through, click on 1. Pin 3 there. Pin 3 again. Don't know why I've got 2 clicks off that. I think that's pin 4. Who else needs to be picked? And pin 5, and we are open. Okay, they were definitely all standard pins. What should we do? I think we should reset that and get a bow guitar out. Just this Southall one from the C2010 kit, and just get it in there and give it a rake. If it is all standard pins, it should open really quickly. Even with bitting like this, let's overlay the bow guitar on here and to see how we might pick that. Do you know what? Something like that position there. Maybe just, you know, get it in far enough. That probably would have picked those pins if they didn't have great tolerances. So yeah, a very, very quick rake on that lock. So yeah, as you expect, it takes a little bit longer to single pin pick, but even with relatively good bitting, it really did rake fast. Let's have a little look on the inside of this if we can. Let's bring in a bit of a gutting kit. Okay, so there we go. I really do like this gut wrench. I mean, that was so quick just taking that off. And a key. There we go. One of these. I'm going to shim it, even though I'm pretty certain we're going to be okay without it. Since we have a shim, we might as well use a shim. And oh, look at that. That might explain that double click. These are so rounded off. They're not even like, I mean, they are beveled, but they're so deeply beveled. The reason I got a double click off pin 3 is probably just this kind of double shear line that it has. The first shear line on the core and second shear line on the actual body of the lock itself. This is so much worse than I was expecting. I mean, the good news is that this will wear. The actual lock will wear slower. Okay, so this means that you don't have to maintain it as often, I think. Any locksmiths out there, do let me know if I'm talking out my hat. But I've led to believe that this sort of deep beveling and counter cutting here. That, yeah, that does reduce wear in the lock, but it really means that you make it 100 times easier to pick. It just makes the tolerances of the lock so much poorer overall. And I have picked some really nice Ace locks in the past. I have. Some of their padlocks have been superb, but this, not too impressed with. Oh, okay, so we've got a steel anti-drill pin. No way! The spools in this? I did not genuinely expect that. There is actually a spool. So, 2 spools. Well, I never. Okay, well, I did not expect that whatsoever from the way this lock picked. I would have sworn it was all standard bitting. I suppose if I popped in a couple of these pins just to see how they would be sat. Would the spool pins have been felt? Well, they should have been. They are sat deep enough. I'm just thinking that maybe this, I don't know what you want to call it, that milling on the top of the keyway somehow means that it just doesn't feel like a spool. I don't know. There's something very weird going on in there. Let's try position 5 and see what's going on there as well. Come here. There we go. And put that spool in. Yeah, they definitely sat deep enough to feel like they should drop into a falset, but I got nothing like that at all. At least I don't think I did. Maybe the feedback was such that it felt like standard pins, or I just am so used to picking locks these days that I didn't notice the spooling on them, or something very odd. Okay, so it does win some points back for having spool pins in it. And more than one, and having a steel anti-drill pin, but since it picked and felt like a set of standard pins in a lock, despite it having the spool pins, I can't rate this lock very high at all. Not compared to its Yale cousin here in the UK. Although that's probably a bit of an unfair comparison, because the Yale locks are probably a lot more expensive compared to hardware own brand lock. But there you go. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I certainly enjoyed exploring this lock. Thank you to LegalLockPicker for sending this to me. Please go check out his channel, and I'll see you all next time.